Darren, a couple of days out from your next game against Newport in the Youth Alliance League. It's off the back of a first defeat and then an exit from the Premier League Cup for the youngsters. So what sort of reaction are you looking for that game?
Probably the most important thing is to get back to winning ways. Off the back of the Bournemouth game, which was the last game that we won, whether players become a little bit complacent after a very good scoreline. Hard work on the training ground, trusting the players in terms of we all have bad performances, and we had to move on from the Swindon game pretty quickly. In terms of the experience that the players have had, there's been a lot of positives from that game. A lot of players making debuts. So in terms of the academy moving forward, with the manager giving the players experience to play at first team level, it's been a successful week last week.
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about that, because it was probably a pretty surreal week with the Papa John's Trophy game happening on the Tuesday. So many debuts, I've even lost count of how many debuts. And then obviously they had the game here, the Under-23s Premier League Cup game. Just talk to me about that week, because that's not a normal week, is it? That's slightly surreal.
I don't think as a player, a younger player, you could probably prepare for that, because it's almost put on you in terms of, by the way, you're going to be playing for the first team tonight, so parents travelling. I was at the Newport game, so I was in the away end, and I thought the Argyle fans were fantastic considering the type of game it was. They travelled in numbers, and they made a lot of noise, so there was an atmosphere that our younger players wouldn't have had before, and some can freeze just because of that pressure of it being a first team fixture. So that was very rewarding. In terms of performances, we always want a little bit more as coaches, but I think the experience, they're becoming closer to being men because of that experience and sharing the dressing room with first team players, and obviously Nance and Shuey and the gaffer, giving them their advice with a different voice. From that point of view, it's excellent.
What is it like, or what has it been like since? Because obviously now you're preparing for your bread and butter, the Youth Alliance League game and Under-18s game. Was it easy to get the players that did feature in that back down again and thinking, right, we've got a task in hand here? Or are they still up and a little bit excited?
I think the majority of the group are quite grounded. But it's important that once you've had this taste and once you've had this experience, you've got to be able to concentrate on what's really important, and that's the process of 18s football, which allows them to become a player daily, working on their strengths, working on their weaknesses, and then when they're called up again, if that happens with the experience that they've gained, they then become a better player.
This weekend is Newport, and the Papa John's Trophy game was against Newport. And there's probably quite a few players that would have played in the Newport side that you'll be up against today. So is that like a good, having watched it as like a fan, is that like a good thing to kind of see and prepare, having watched these guys in action already?
We'll always do our homework on the opposition, so some of the players would have studied the game today. They know the quality they're up against. I think over the last sort of 18 months, any youth team game now is a difficult win, which is, it's not easy. Winning is a very hard way to find that winning formula week in, week out. But the players have, been working extremely hard on the training ground. We've got principles that we work to, we've got a philosophy that we work to, and as long as they stick to those principles and enjoy the experience that they had last week, they're going to improve as players, and that's the most important thing.
Just finally, bringing it all the way back round again, you said it's important to get back to winning ways. This, I think, would be your first win in the Youth Alliance League if you were to get it, and to get that first win is always a bit of a milestone, isn't it? So how important is that? It's
very important for us as coaches and also the group in terms of confidence and moving forward. We knew the two games in terms of Oxford, Bristol Rovers were winnable. Unfortunately we didn't, but then we had the success at Bournemouth, so we had a little bit of a break-up. We were due to play Exeter, but that was called off because of the under-23s game. So yeah, there is a lot of focus on trying to develop and win at the same time, and the lads have been played with real intensity this week. they've been focused on winning, and as I said, it'll be that performance that every player will have to take responsibility, concentrate for 90 minutes plus, and hopefully we can come out winners.